The Willys 392, Moab 392, and the Rubicon 392 Final Edition. There are a lot of trims with the V8 now. Let's break down what is included with each trim, our personal take on each of those trims, and our thoughts on what you should do if you're in the 392 market. The Willys 392, the most recent of the V8 iteration of the Wrangler. Let's break down what is included so far from what we know on the Stellantis North America media site. Freshly revealed a few days ago, this is the fourth of the 12 for 12 special edition Jeeps that are being released. It has a 6.4 liter, 392 cubic inch, 470 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque, the same engine that has been on all of the other 392s. But going down through and seeing what is included with the Willys 392 might surprise you a little bit. Right away, we are looking at the same style Extreme Recon wheels and tires, 35-inch BF Goodrich KO2s with 17-inch beadlock capable wheels. From what we can tell right away, they are the same as the Willys and the Rubicon Extreme Recon wheels, being black with a machine finish as well in there. The biggest thing with this is that it only includes a True-Lock electronic locking rear differential. There is no front locking differential in the Willys 392, nor is there a front disconnecting sway bar. Both of those have been excluded from the Willys 392. This one, as well as all the other 392s that have been released, do have a 272-to-1 Selec-Trac full-time transfer case. This is the one with the 4 auto, 4 high, neutral, and the 4 low. So that's what's included with the Willys 392 as well. And they're also going to get the Dana 44 heavy-duty solid front and rear axles. 456 axle ratio is inside there, same as all the other Extreme Recons. And this one is going to include, same with the regular Willys, the rock rails, and here's some cool stuff included, the winch-capable steel front bumper, a steel rear bumper, and the cold air intake hydro guide with the water separator. Some really cool things that are included with the Willys 392 as well, custom graphics and heritage four-wheel drive in the back, LED exterior lighting. Typically that just means the front, headlights, turn signals, and fog lights, but LED exterior would allow me to believe that it might also include the LED tail lamps. More to come when we see one in person. The Willys 392 includes Napa leather heated and powered front seats, an Alpine 9-speaker premium audio system with a 552-watt amplifier, the 12.3 screen that's included on all the 26 Wranglers, also includes the aux switches and the trailer tow package. Now what's really cool about this as well is that in March, with the arrival of the Willys 392, you are going to be able to order Goldilocks as well. So looking at this, basically your main takeaways is it also only includes a soft top from the factory starting. It's got the standard black fender flares, Rubicon steel front and rear bumpers on there, but it is missing a couple crucial points. It is missing the front camera, it is missing probably the bigger tech group on the inside, and a few other things that we might be able to option in the future. But right away, that is what's included so far, direct from the media Stellantis North America, that we can see with the Willys 392. And the best price, Ryan, is right here. MSRP $69,995, excluding destination, which I want to say is around the $1,900 point. So $72,000 MSRP, and you can get the Willys 392 when ordering is available in March. So that's pretty much the breakdown of the Willys 392, the buzz model, and the hottest one to drop in a long time. And guys, if you're just stopping by for the first time, thank you so much for clicking on a Dirt Road Cred video. We've got a ton of really cool content that we're always producing. And if you've been around for a long time and are subscribed, thank you guys so much as well. But if you don't mind, hitting that subscribe button would be massive for us. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers, and boy, do we have a big surprise for everyone watching when we hit that. But if you want to stay tuned to all the latest and greatest Jeep news, Jeep builds, installs, and product reviews, click that subscribe button and stay tuned to Dirt Road Cred. Ryan and I couldn't do it without you, so let's get into the Moab 392. Now, this reveal of the Moab 392 happened a few months ago. However, when it was revealed, there was a ton of speculation about what was actually included, how it differed from the Rubicon 392 Final Edition, and why such a drastic price increase. Now, what's interesting about this is because it came out a few months ago, we were met with a Stellantis media drop. However, there were no window stickers to view. And us being in Pennsylvania, one of the CARB states, we do not have any in our state yet because ordering was delayed by a few months. A lot of you guys are in the same situation, so let's break down what is included by looking at an actual window sticker here for a Moab 392. They're close to us in Maryland and Virginia and some of the other states, so let's break this one down. There's a lot of speculation on what was included and a little bit of even flack towards Jeep because in the order guide it showed a difference than what's actually included. Now as we break down this window sticker, like we said before, you have to understand that the Wrangler 392 is its own vehicle and the Moab and the Willys are trims of the Wrangler 392. Therefore, they can come with different things. The Moab 392 here does have the 35-inch tire with the Rubicon 392 suspension, the hood with the integrated air scoop, same setup. It includes the integrated off-road front camera, 2.72 to 1 Selec-Trac full-time four-wheel drive system, Dana 44 front axle, Dana 44 full floating rear axle, 456 gears in the front and rear, as well as a locking rear axle and a true lock electronic front locker axle. So you have rear and front electronic locking differentials. You're also going to get a front disconnecting sway bar, the same as the Rubicon 392. Now what's interesting is Ryan, as we break down what's included, the customer preferred package 27X, which is the Moab, that's where you see the locking front axle and the lock and the front disconnecting sway bar. So it is actually not broken down into the standard equipment. It's as a package with the Moab. So that's why there was such confusion with this. Now we are seeing the front door passive entry. We didn't see that on the Willys, so that's a bit interesting. Front door passive entry, which means you can just put your hand behind there. 7-pin and 4-pin wiring harness on there. You're going to get the Uconnect 5 with the large 12.3. Alpine premium audio system. This one does not say how many watts are pushing out of it, but I imagine it is similar. Front power heated seats are going to come standard on this, as well as LED front fog lamps, LED premium reflector headlamps, and it doesn't say anything about the taillights on here, but I have to assume it does come with LED taillights. We can probably pull up a shot from one sitting on there. And we are going to get the same 35s with the machined wheels and black pockets, Moab decals on the exterior, and then all of the other decals and exterior finish is going to be in a black or a gray accented piece. And the interior, much different than the Rubicon 392, is now stitched out very much like a Rubicon X, which is all black with red stitching throughout the inside of the Moab. Now what's cool on this too is the one that we optioned here that we just pulled up a random window is the Sky One Touch Power Top is an option, as well as the Warn winch, and now the One Touch Power Top is only $995. But one cool thing with the Moab 392 is it does come standard with a color matched hardtop and the black fender flares. That's a lot different than the Rubicon, but it comes with the color matched top, black fender flares, and you can option a Sky One Touch Power Top for $995. So really the only difference there then is the fender flares are all black in the Moab. But perhaps one of the coolest things is this thing comes in at a base price of $79,995 plus the $2,000 destination fee, $82,000 for the Moab 392. Quite a substantial difference from the previous year, coming in at well over 6 figures. Now, last but not least, the most expensive, the 2025 Rubicon 392 Final Edition 4x4, which we have a window sticker of one that is quite local to us in the Mojito paint. It really didn't matter which one, but we wanted to pull up a window sticker so we could just be pretty accurate on what is included with this. I think the reason why there was such speculation is because things are listed a bit more easier to consume on the 392 Rubicon compared to the Moab, but let's break it down. Starting off, we still, and this goes for every other one we talk about, 6.4 liter, same horsepower, same torque on all of these. This one just says 392 suspension, so it does have a little bit of a name difference with that, but it is the Extreme Recon suspension on there. 35-inch tires with the 17-inch bronze accented beadlock capable wheels. That is one thing you're going to notice throughout the Rubicon 392 Final Edition is bronze still remained on this vehicle. This one does include a Warn winch from the factory, steel front and rear bumpers, a heavy-duty rock slider with the step assist. Different than the rock rail, this comes out about 3 inches and allows you to step in a little bit more. Retail, those are about $1,000, so it does include some more creature comforts and features on this thing. 2.72 to 1 full-time Selec-Trac transfer case. Dana M220, it's got the full floating rear axle. It's got the front axle, Dana 44, lockers, front and rear, with the 456 rear axle ratio. Blind spot, cross path detection, park sense, transfer case skid plate, front passive door entry, windshield with Corning Gorilla Glass, acoustic laminated front door glass, 7-pin and 4-pin rear trailer harness with a hitch, auxiliary switches, 8-way adjustable, power, front, heated and power seats, so same thing on there. Same Uconnect 5 with the larger display, Alpine premium audio system, and then you get a little bit more on the Rubicon 392. Still, the hinge gate reinforcement, body color hardtop, body color fender flares, bronze tow hooks, bronze accents throughout the entire exterior of that vehicle, LED headlights, LED tail lights, LED fog lights built into that, and the worn winch up front, which is really cool. And on the inside of the Rubicon 392, it is completely black and bronze stitched, which I will argue one of the best looking interiors that they've done on one of these. So bronze and black throughout, as well as on all the emblems and all the logos outside. One interesting thing is that on this specific one that we optioned here, it is a Sky One Touch power top coming in at $39.95. Quite a bit more than the Moab 392 to get the Sky One Touch on the Rubicon 392 Final Edition. And now let's get to the juiciest part about this. The previous model year, 2025 Rubicon 392 Final Edition, base price $99,995. With destination, you're looking at about $102,000, and this specific unit that was optioned out here came in at a whopping $106,580. Very much higher than the Moab 392 and a whole heck of a lot higher than the Willys 392. Pretty cool to see them all three next to each other. Now, let's go in reverse and break down each one of these trims, give our thoughts on them, and then we'll talk about if you're buying new, which one is right for you, and our personal hot take on which one we think is one of the best deals. All right, guys, so now if you've gotten to this portion of the video, this is the juicy stuff, Ryan. That front part of the video is for someone that's looking to sit down with one of their local dealerships and go, I'd like to buy one of these, and the salesman behind the counter hasn't sold a Jeep a day in his life. That'll at least help you kind of break down what we know as of this point is included with each of those trims. But working top to bottom price-wise, the 2025 four-door Rubicon 392 Final Edition, very expensive Jeep. $106,000 for this MSRP, $102,000 for a base. And $102,000 base is without a paint color, so that's a white Jeep, because as soon as you add a paint color, it adds $595, unless you do a premium color, and that's $895. This thing's expensive. The hardest part for me is seeing the sheer depreciation of the Rubicon 392 in the year 2025. It dropped absolutely massively. The 25s I've already seen used and new ones trying to be sold around the high 70s, low 80s points. That is a drop off of about $25,000 from MSRP. And one big argument that I've been seeing all over the internet is everyone's saying they're going to take a lawsuit against Jeep for calling it the Final Edition Rubicon. I know the Durango guys did it with the last call, and I believe the court just said they sided with Stellantis. So it wasn't like in favor of the owners. And one ironic thing that I see Jeep doing is that's why there's a Moab 392 and that's why there's a Willys 392, because technically that could be the Final Edition Rubicon 392. That's what's very odd for me. One thing I will say about this, when you look at this Jeep, the bronze accents on the exterior and the interior definitely tie it in a whole heck of a lot better, in my opinion, than some of the other trims. I loved the bronze on my 392. I had his 2024, and I really think the color scheme was a whole heck of a lot nicer than just making it kind of a hodgepodge interior of the rest of those other trims that we were discussing. The hardest part, though, I would say if you're looking to get a good deal on one of these, you probably want to search, go on like Auto Trader, go down through and search one that's been sitting on a lot for a while and already is incredibly discounted. Go into a dealership and try and work with them. They're going to be hard pressed to find a buyer for these new Rubicon 392s that are still sitting around, as these Moabs and as especially when these Willys start hitting a lot. It's going to be very hard to see this one's 99, this one's 79, and this one's 69. Sitting right next to each other on the lot. And everyone's going to see, well, it's got the same engine. It's got the same power heated seats. Going into the details, you guys are Jeep people. If you're watching this, all the details can be changed. You see the grills we have sitting behind us, the lift kits all sitting around. You can change these things up like crazy. So it will be hard to justify the factory color match top, the color match fenders, and the bronze accents as $25,000 to $30,000 more than a Moab 392. But there are some colors. I mean, there were some different things and different colors you could get back in 25 that you can't get now. Some of those might shift a little bit. But I would say if you're dead set on a Final Edition 392, there's some work to be done at a dealership. And if they argue you and say, look, this is what the MSRP is, this is that, You just watch the front of this video and you know what the price is on the next ones, and you also know what the features are. Use that a little bit, put that in your pocket as a little bit of an advantage. So very hard pressed to sell these things. Personally, I probably wouldn't pick one of these up right now. And that's a shame to say with what we know now. And Ryan, you know, you can look at us, like I've owned a 24 392. We actually know a guy. We know a guy that he bought a 24 392 and big fan of the channel. And he's calling it the negative equity edition right now. So yeah, but you know what he said? He's like, screw it, let's put more parts on it. I love that motto. I would say if you have a 25 Rubicon 392, I wouldn't fret too badly. I think the entire automotive industry is shifting right now with resale and prices and all that stuff. So I wouldn't fret too bad on it. Just know it might be taking a little bit of a hit with all these different models coming out, but you still have arguably the last Rubicon 392. So that I think does hold a little bit of weight. So I wouldn't fret too bad, but just know it's going to be affected a little bit coming soon. So now let's move on to the Moab 392. One of the coolest trims that we've seen Jeep do in a while until they released the latest one. The Moab 392 arguably, and let me say arguably, because everyone online on our channel, on the forums, everywhere is talking about that there is a huge difference between the Moab 392 and the Rubicon. It's cheaper for a reason. It's cheaper. And these guys were like going off. There's a huge comment on our channel, and he's like, that came with the 4-to-1 transfer case. It doesn't have the same axles underneath that thing. Looking at a window sticker here next to another window sticker, the biggest icing on the cake is that it does come with front and rear lockers. Right away, that was disputed. They were saying it doesn't come with a front locker. That's why it's cheaper. This comes with a front locker. It also comes with a disconnecting sway bar. So for axle-wise, transfer case-wise, disconnecting sway bar-wise, it's identical underneath from a Rubicon 392. There was people arguing with me that Rubicon 392s came with a 4-to-1 transfer case, and this comes with a 2.72 to 1. They all come with a 2.72 to 1 Selec-Trac full-time transfer case, all of them. When you get a 470 horsepower engine, they don't want to multiply it 4 to 1 by the time it hits your rear axles, because let's be honest, guys will be blowing up those rear axles really quick. So basically running gear underneath is identical. Biggest difference is, if you really care about it, black fender flares instead of body color fender flares. You do get a color matched hardtop. And then the exterior, Ryan, does look a lot more plain with the Moab. The black decals, the black badging, all that fun stuff. But that's why we have companies like Distinction Applied that you can go on our website, pick up a ton of color match products, and their website for the real crazy custom stuff, and change all that up exterior-wise. Let's be honest, everyone modifies these things anyways. But it still does come with a front camera. It does come with all those other goodies, power leather seats, interior. And the coolest thing is, if you guys are fans of the Sky One Touch, it has now been reduced by $3,000. So instead of $39.95, you get it for $9.95. That's already a massive difference. So take all that, and like we do, rip off the fender flares anyways and modify it anyhow. But the Moab 392, until this most recent one was dropped, looked like an absolutely incredible deal for us. Once we got through the point where we could see window stickers and see them in person, not in person for us, but see photographs of them online to really break them down. I think if you're starting with one and you want the front locker, you want the front disconnecting sway bar, the price point on this coming in at $79,995 plus destination. I've already seen dealerships having them on the lot for $75. That's wild to me, dude. Like that 75 compared to the 106, which no one's selling a final edition at 106, but that's 30 grand right there. That's a lot of money to play with. 30 grand is a lot of modifications you can make. You know, you can get some painted fenders. You can change it up the way you want it. And if you don't like the seats and you want bronze, have our friends at Catskin add on all the seats, get custom logos, custom colors, right? Like you can really change it up really quick, but that's the killer right there, is that Moab 392. I mean, I'm seeing a ton of them on lots. It's actually really funny is I heard from someone else, arguably they said like 60 to 70% are Sky One Touches too. Just because it's $1,000, so a lot of dealers just check that box for factory inventory or dealer inventory. I like the One Touch, and we had that one out in Vegas in our Sahara 4xe. That was a fun unit out there that we wheeled around. But yeah, Moab 392 personally, absolutely fantastic deal for all those goodies. I'm going to segue this into the Willys 392 with this segment right here. The Willys 392 is a bit stripped down. You don't get a couple of the features on the Moab 392 on the Willys. So it is a bit stripped down. Comes from a Stellantis North America media post. And also, why was the drops like 7 hours late? We were sitting there like waiting. Like we were literally like this. Like we had nothing else to do. Yeah, just sitting there. And it came at like what, 6 or 7 o'clock? And Ryan commented on Instagram, I think he said about time. Yeah. And Jeep hearted it, so that was probably the last time they'll heart anything that we do. But we keep buying Jeeps, so who cares? The Willys 392, that one is a game changer in a few ways. It's kind of a double-edged sword, and I'll start with the good side of the sword, is it lets people get into a 392 at a cheaper price point. A lot of people have made the argument that $70,000 is not an affordable price point for a Wrangler, and I would say, yeah, that's a dang expensive Wrangler, but it does let more people get into a 392. You've now taken $20,000 to $30,000 off as an entry starting point. That will allow people to get into this Jeep. That could afford a $70,000 rig. If people are buying a $100,000 rig, you could afford both of them now. The Willys 392, though, does come with, Ryan, I would say the Willys 2025 that came out with the rear locker and the 456 gears and the Extreme Recon, all that stuff. I actually looked at one of those to buy in 41 when it came out. I think the Willys package with an Extreme Recon and the rear locker is a fantastic buy. I think the majority of people that even wheel, you can get through a lot of stuff with just a rear locker and go out and manually disconnect your sway bar with some aftermarket products. I think this is solving a lot of things. And it kind of said, Bob Rodendorf said here, our community has been clear. They want a Wrangler that returns to a more classic, back to the basics formula, paired with the unmistakable power of a V8. I think they did that, but they also made it a little bit too pretty inside. The power leather seats, and some of the Alpine I'll take all day, but the power leather seats don't make me feel like this is a base Jeep. It's incredible to me that they included those with that unit. The other incredible thing is that it includes steel front and rear bumpers. Ryan, I was not expecting that. Like, I thought plastic bumpers, cloth seats, make it a Willys XR and drop a V8 under the hood. That's exactly what we thought we were going to get. But with this is the builder's Jeep if you're building it for off-road. If you just wanted a Hemi, this thing's going to get you everywhere you want to go with just that rear locker and give you the full backing of a factory warranty. But a builder's Jeep, maybe cue to the shots of me ripping and drilling into my brand new 392. This is the trim I would have bought all day, regardless. All the takeoff parts, the steel front and rear bumper, the wheels, the tires, the fender flares, all of that holds us pretty significant value for the resale market. And coming in at $69,995, I would venture to say when these start hitting the order guides, order banks, you might be able to find dealerships letting these go at $65,000. That's cheaper than a Rubicon X, and you get a V8. That's what I think everyone's going to be pushing towards. You're going to see a lot more of these things on the road. And as a builder standpoint, you can easily rip off the fenders, rip off the bumpers, get a decent amount of resale value, bolt on all sorts of other off-road aftermarket mods from a lot of the vendors that we've used, and be able to kind of recoup some of that cost. Now, here's that tail end that I wanted to talk about a little bit. The Willys 392 versus the Moab 392. We don't have the ordering guide for this yet. It says it's available in March, so we won't know for a little bit of time yet until you can actually order these things. We do see a Moab 392 on the lot, and we're seeing them at that 75, 76 mark already sitting there. What I would say is we don't know how much is back end available to discount this thing. So say it comes in, let's just for all intents and purposes, 67 grand, and we can get the Moab for 75. So we got $8,000 of a difference there. That $8,000 is going to get you a front locker, a front disconnecting sway bar, a color match top, front camera, and I think that's it. Am I missing anything? And the tech group, a little bit better tech group on the inside. Probably the onboard nav, I think, is included in the tech group. Maybe the garage door openers.
Keyless entry?
Keyless entry is in the Moab 392. I'm not sure if it's on the Willys 392. It's on, let me see. Front door passive entry and lock is on the Moab 392. I'm not sure on the Willys. I kind of think it would be.
I feel like it has
if it gets power leather, power all this, like it's gonna kind of have to be. So what you have to think about, guys, is that $8,000 difference. If you want the color match top, you want the front locker, you want the front disconnecting sway bar, that's what you're getting for that. How much is a color match top to add to the Willys? I think like $2,000, $29,995. The front locker and disconnecting sway bar is where you start to get some money. Do you want to take it aftermarket wise, have a shop, add a front locker, and adding a front disconnecting sway bar is very expensive if you want to go the factory route, or would you rather it all be built in to the Moab 392 for that difference? I think that's really what it comes down to, Ryan, is what do you want to do right there? Is it worth it to you to spend that $8,000 more and get all those features and have it under the factory warranty? Or do you take the Willys 392 and not have the front locker, the disconnecting sway bar, or the color match top, and that's okay with you? I think that's really the interesting thing with that. Now, I think I'm excited to see a Willys 392, especially a Moab 392 in person, and really have a chance to compare and contrast. Hopefully they're out at Easter Jeep Safari, because we will hopefully have a chance to check those out there. But I think we've discussed a lot of these new ones. The automotive market as a whole right now is hurting. We're not going to sugarcoat that. There's been a lot of changes the past few years, a lot of gouging, not only with Jeep, but in a ton of other Toyota. I mean, any sort of other brand you can think of. EVs are going to the wayside. I just read something that I believe the Ford Lightning is going away. The Wagoneer S, I think, is going away. The Charger's, all the EV. So they invested a ton of money into that. And I unfortunately think that they increased MSRP and increased prices in the ICE or gasoline engines to help build those EVs. I never even thought of it like that, but increasing prices like that gives you some more profit, invest that into other things, and I just think they're hurting right now. So I would argue that even with the Willys 392 coming out, I didn't see the sheer excitement that I was expecting online about it. I just think people, maybe it's the fact that everyone's been under snow for so long, or it's the winter time, or it's just not as exciting right now. I mean, and I've been excited for all these. I mean, I had a 24 392. It was probably the most exciting day of Jeep ownership when you picked one of these things up. There's nothing mistaken about that engine. It's a very fun, very awesome engine to drive, but I think the double-edged sword, I never finished that side of the statement. It's great that it comes in cheap, but it also shows the double-edged side where how many people have paid $30,000 more. And now that we know you can produce it at 69 and sell it and still make money, is how many people bought it for 100 plus and got paint match fenders and some other bronze gidgets and gadgets on it, and you could have had it for 30 grand less. That's what hurts a lot more, I would say, to current owners, previous owners like myself, and the entire industry. I think it's doing two things. It's showing that you can do it for cheap, and that's great, getting people into it, but it's also showing just how much you could make in these things. So now some more thoughts, because this is kind of like sitting down and talking to a Jeep therapist with Ryan and I here. We've got the ambient lights. Imagine you're sitting in a leather chair, you have a nice drink, and we're just discussing what we would buy new, what we would buy used. And it's funny because when we go to shows, Ryan, this is a lot of the questions we field there, and it's the exact same as if we were talking to you right now. So we'd have the same opinions. Buying new. My take, because of what I do, though, because I'm an absolute idiot and rip everything off of it, Willys 392 right away. I would buy a Willys 392, rip everything off of it day one, sell it all as brand new stock parts, and add on the $10,000 or so that I would be saving from a Moab 392 onto aftermarket products. That's exactly what I would do, Ryan. I would rip the bumpers off, sell them for $2,000, fenders off for about $1,000, wheels and tires, $3,500 you can get for those. So I would have like 18 grand worth of money saved between savings and cash to put into it. Fender flares, lift kit, front and rear bumpers, the winch. That's what I would do right away. Savings. Eventually then, with a Willys 392, I would probably wheel it as is with the rear locker, order a set of front disconnecting sway bars, the manual ones, get it to the point where I can't wheel it anymore with just a rear locker, and then I would do a 1-ton setup. That's probably what I would do to kind of mitigate that difference, or just add a front locker to the front axle. So for me, Willys 392. What about you?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Yep.
But what would we do, to save the most money and get the best bang for your buck? I think that's arguably what the opinion is now. And you guys have seen a lot what we do on the channel. We're buying, selling, flipping, doing all sorts of stuff with Jeeps. You always have something kind of coming in and out. One of the coolest things is, Ryan, we'll have to give a plug here for America's Most Wanted 4x4, because they are the BYOJ, not BYOB. It's BYOJ. Bring your own Jeep. A lot of you guys that are watching this video might have modified your Jeeps with tens of thousands of dollars of aftermarket accessories. You've got it dialed in, you've got it the way you want it, and you just want the V8 power. Maybe not even as crazy as the 392, or maybe crazier with a Hellcat. We have a 2025 Gladiator that we bought as a dark sky, and added on a 5.7 liter engine, which is not available at all with Jeep. The AMW team also does not have MDS, cylinder shutdown, as well as it keeps your factory transfer case. And a lot of people with 2024s and any of the other year Rubicon 392s, they were starting to have issues with the clutch packs and the transfer case going bad. AMW, you don't have to worry about that at all. It has the standard transfer case, which allows you to do awesome smoky burnouts in two-wheel drive. So AMW is a fantastic solution, and the fact that Jeep doesn't make a V8 in a two-door, in a Gladiator, in basically any other trim besides what we saw here, you bring your own. And JKs, JLs, JTs, I've even seen TJs and all sorts of other stuff there. So one really good option is if you want to go for that, you definitely can. And if you want to save a bit of money, Ryan, you go on our website. We've got a whole form you can fill out. A lot of very happy audience members from us. We are extremely happy. They've gone that route. And I think the quality is also a million times more than what you'd get. The sheer care that they have for their vehicles. And in fact, what's cool, we have ours getting an oil change at our local dealership. Super simple to do. So still available to do that kind of stuff. But what we would do if we wanted to buy one that came directly from Jeep, best bang for your buck. Obviously with all these coming out, it already shifted the market for the used values pretty hard. With the Moab 392 coming out in November, the Willys 392 is on paper here, but when those start getting delivered, it's going to shift the market even lower. Dealerships, a lot of them aren't watching these videos. They aren't up to date. They have seen the Moab because they could order it and they saw the price point and adjusted their used market accordingly. I would personally probably pick up a used 2024 392 Rubicon. You are getting fully loaded, color match top, color match fenders, locker front, locker rear, disconnecting sway bar, the new grille, the new interior, the side curtain airbags, the front camera, the LED group. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And I just saw one in high velocity, which is a color you cannot pick up. $68,000 or $69,000 used with 7,000 miles, and I believe it had a winch and Sky One Touch roof. And I get the color I want. Now, you have to deal with the red seats, depending on what time period of 2024 you bought. But I would say for arguably purposes, for the newest interior, the newest exterior, all the other goodies, the full float rear axle, 456 gears, all the other goodies, 2024 392 used. Find the lowest mileage you can, find the least modified you can. Take a peek around, go on Auto Trader, and search the entire country. If it's a good deal and has a few thousand miles on it, you can get that Rubicon 392. Most of them will probably be under factory warranty still, and you get the newest tech out of it. So that's the goal. That's what I would say to start searching around for if you're kind of looking around. If you don't want the Willys 392 and you want a bit more creature comforts, you want the paint match stuff. The other year's 392, man, those are, I'm seeing them in the 40s for 21s and 22s, 392s in the 40s. I just saw an XR with 29,000 miles, 22 Extreme Recon, and I think it was $50,000. And that's before the Willys 392s are hitting the lots and the order guides. This is like the game of double-edged sword. Awesome because more people can get into it. Terrible because if you have one or if you're like looking at what to do with yours, it really shifts on what you should do. I would say if you have one and you've been debating getting rid of it, you've been debating private selling it or trading it into a dealer, before the Willys 392 hits the lots and makes its way to public knowledge for the dealerships that aren't paying attention, if you've been thinking about checking trade-in value, I would check it now. The other thing we wanted to talk about too towards the end of this video is, everything we said here is all opinions, of course. It's all opinions, it's all conjectures, just like you and I talking. So obviously do your due diligence, search around, find a good deal, find, a good dealer to work with if you're looking to trade in, buy new, any of that fun stuff. I know it is a stinging pain, and I'm not unaware of that for a lot of people that did buy the final edition 392s. I think it definitely hurts a bit, but I will tell you that none of these other trims have the Rubicon heritage. They have the Rubicon 392. So there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We'll have to see how this all plays out. Winter is always very slow for Jeep sales, Jeep trade-in values. So if you've ever been looking to do things like that, summertime is your big one. Everyone that buys a Jeep typically is in the summer because they want to flip the top back, they want to take the doors off, and they want to have a good time. And that's hopefully what we plan on doing here. If you guys are anywhere like us that is dealing with, I think I just read it was the longest time on record in PA. It was like over 19 days with 5 inches plus of snow on the ground. Last time it happened was in '94. So we're sitting in snow. We're trying to get ready for the summertime, and we're trying to get ready for more mods. We've got a lot of cool stuff happening on the channel. Our purple Jeep is right down the street getting some new products put on, some things that we can't do in the shop here, so you guys have to guess what that is. We have some really cool stuff coming for that. A lot of you guys absolutely love the roll bar, and you know what, I really love it too. So a huge shout out to everyone that's been complimenting the roll bar. The Tyree lights have been killer. We're wiring up some other cool custom lights on the back of there, and we might even have some more bed accessories going in that Jeep. Really fun stuff going on with the purple one. Bumpers are coming for that one, bumpers are coming for the orange Jeep, and we might be changing up the fleet before we make it to our first show down in Daytona, and that will be a big show for us. So like we said in the middle of this video, if you aren't subscribed already, we'd absolutely love to have you here on the channel, not only to be a part of the channel, to catch up on the latest news, the latest drops, but the other thing I wanted to say is you guys might not love every bit of content that we produce here. We try and run the gamut of DIY, low price, high price, middle ground price, picking up Jeeps, testing, comparisons. We might have something you like, and we might have something you don't. So if you hit subscribe, you might not like the latest drop or the color we pick or the parts we pick, but you're gonna find something on this channel you like. So stick around and you won't regret it, and we have a lot of fun coming. So we're gonna close this one out. This has been a long video. This is like a Jeep dive here. I love the BYOJ though. I think that's bring your own Jeep is, I would call Jared after this and tell AMW they need to put that up on the wall. Bring your own Jeep. So we're having fun with this one. The purple Jeep's not in the shop. It's really weird to see because it always lives in here. So we're gonna go pick that thing up, pick up the orange Jeep, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Ryan's behind the camera. I'm here talking to you, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.